Knowing if you're dating a narcissist isn't always easy to figure out. That's because narcissists are so good at being charming and hiding their true colors in the beginning of dating. So in this video, I'll walk you through 6 subtle signs you may be dating a narcissist so you can spot this early and get out before it's too late. So the first sign is the person you're dating controls all the plans in the relationship. They take control of planning everything, the dates, the events, the trips. At first, this may be flattering. You feel like they're putting in a lot of effort to impress you, show you that they're really invested. But if you pay close attention, you're not being asked what you'd like to do on a date. So they may decide where you're going, what you're ordering, and you may go along with it because their decisions, their picks seem to be really good. It may even exceed your expectations. Honestly, most of the times their plans are amazing because they're trying to impress you. They need you to be dazzled, grateful, and hooked. For example, maybe you mentioned you like Italian food once, and suddenly they book an extravagant rooftop dinner. Now, this is not by chance. If you are dating a narcissist, chances are they're probably really scanning you well for your likes and dislikes, your preferences, and things that you don't appreciate. If you are dating them, it means they're in the process of love bombing you. So they need to learn a lot about you. They need to select the things you like and bombard you with it to overwhelm your senses and get you hooked. So when you're being love bombed, one of the first signs is you feel like, oh my God, this is such a perfect match. I've never felt seen like this. It just feels like a piece of my heart was missing and now it's there because this person is giving you everything that you've been craving. And the thing that's the most precious, which is their attention, they're just showering you with it. So if you're someone who's been craving a lot of attention, that's going to be an instant hook. I know it's a great gesture when someone you're dating is planning all these dates, but you do need to ask yourself what's their intention behind doing all this planning. Are they trying to get you attached and hooked? Or are they doing this because they want to do simply something exciting? Or does this come from a place of caring for you? You can actually ask them, see what's the intention behind doing this for you, and that's going to give you a lot of data. The second sign is in your conversation, they're always fishing for validation. So in relation to others, especially a vulnerable narcissist, may present themselves as someone who's benevolent, who likes to help other people, someone who is compromising and sacrifices themselves for other people. Maybe they say, I had a friend and I tried to help them out because that's the kind of person I am. I have a heart of gold and that's just in my nature. So even if something hurts me, I'll do it anyway. So be aware of how they're trying to present themselves to you. I think most of us, if we are truly benevolent in nature, we're not going to rub it in, or it's not going to be the topic of conversation for the first 3 dates. When they say something like this to you, they're asking for your validation, for you to see them as this kind, benevolent person. You may even soothe them and comfort them and be like, that's really kind of you that you do this for your friends or even strangers. So kind of notice how often are you finding yourself giving them validation in the early stages of the relationship. And also there's a lot of self-involved talking. Let's say you're dating someone and they're telling you on the 3rd or 4th or the 6th day that no one has ever loved me the way you do. On surface, you may feel like, okay, this is so good. We're really connecting. I feel this, he feels this. But if you look closely from a perspective of a narcissist, this is like, I've never been loved this way. So this is not necessarily about you and a sense of connection, but this person is using these I statements, talking about themselves because they're feeling nourished and validated by all the attention and the affection you give them. Another sentence that a narcissist who's looking and fishing for validation may use is, let's say you're talking and it's just an organic conversation and you're saying to this person, I've never felt this way towards any other person that I've dated before. And they catch that and they're like, Oh, wow. So can you tell me again, you've never dated other people that have made you feel like me? Like, so this is special. Again, in a healthy relationship, this could be about like just a mutual connection, but I'd be really cautious with that if that person is trying to connect that early. And also this statement feels like, again, it's about them. It's like, oh, okay, so you just told me I'm special. You just told me I'm different. And I'll take that. I'll take that. And that's what I feed off of, just your validation and your attention towards me. This is because your admiration is feeding their self-worth, which they don't have. The third sign is they're really good at pushing their way and their agenda onto you. When you speak up and you're assertive, maybe you share something that you're not comfortable with, they don't just listen and respect it, they actually start convincing you. And in doing so, they make it sound like this is in your best interest, like they're looking out for you. But the reality is what's really happening is they're nudging you to make the decision that they want you to make. For example, you say you're not comfortable with a certain date idea, and suddenly they're talking in circles around you until you give in to the idea. You may think, well, maybe they just care too much and they really want to see me and they really feel like this is going to be special. They're insisting because they care. Well, absolutely not. They're actually doing this because they care about getting their way. Remember, you're being love bombed. So if they have a plan for you that by a certain time you're going to be in love with them, you're going to be all hooked and attached, so that after that time they can kind of control you and control your life, control your mind, you are putting a barrier in their plan. So they've had like plan 1, date 1, date 2, date 3, date 4, and this is the ultimate plan that they've planned. They put a lot of effort in. And how dare you say no to that? You're getting in the way of their plans happening. And it's unfortunate though, because a lot of times, a lot of women or even men may think, oh wow, this person really cares for me. Like they're really invested. And when I say no, I don't want to see you, they keep insisting because they just, really want me. And what you're missing then is like you're just, because you're craving that attention, you're taking all of that in and you're missing the red flag that this person is not respecting your no. This person is not respecting your boundaries. So tell me, in a dating or a relationship context, have you ever felt pressure to give in to certain plans and certain things? If so, hit the like button now so that other people know that they're not alone in this. Because this is such a common early sign of narcissistic relationships. I'm going to give you another example of them pushing your boundaries early on. Let's say they're planning a trip. They have a great idea of both of you going to Vegas, for example. And you tell them, you know what, that's not the kind of place I want to really spend time with. And actually, I have a fear of flying, so I don't think this is for me. This is too early. At first they're like, oh, but are you sure? It's going to be a great experience for us. I think we're going to be so much closer by the end of the trip. I think this is what our relationship needs right now. We just need to get more experience with each other. And you tell them again, you know what, I hear you, but again, this is not something I'm comfortable with. And they're like, oh, okay, bye. And then, an hour later, they come back again. It's another conversation and they say, you know what, trust me, already I've planned so many great things for us. And you see, have I ever chosen wrong for you? I always make the best decisions and you can trust me. You're going to be happy at the end and just come along with me. Take that risk. And even though this may sound so harmless, in the beginning, you really need to uphold your boundaries because you don't know truly if this person is a narcissist and is trying to get you emotionally hooked. Someone not respecting your no means they're prioritizing themselves and their wishes over your wishes. That is always such a big, big, big red flag. Now, if any of this feels a little bit too familiar, if you're starting to wonder if you're dealing with something that's just more than a bad communicator, take my free relationship test that's below this video. This test has helped so many people spot early red flags in a dating relationship. and rebuild their trust in themselves. So if you want to know this person that you're dating, how healthy they are for you, take the test right now. You'll know where you stand in a matter of minutes. The fourth sign is you're going to see them being passive aggressive after they hear no from you. They don't take that well because it feels like a rejection to them. It feels like you're personally trying to hurt them. Because remember, their inner being is so fragile that every no, every rejection feels like a disaster and activates that internal shame. So they can make passive aggressive comments towards you. Let's say they've asked you on a date and you didn't go because you were busy at work, and they send a picture of this dinner that's amazing and you're like, oh man, I wish I was there. He gives you this backhanded comment that, well, if you finish your work a little bit early, you could have been here with me. So it feels like a bit of a complaint, or it feels like a bit of a resentment that they're carrying because you said no to them. So you will see from time to time, the times that you've said no to them, it'll come back in a backhanded comment or a sarcastic comment that tells you this person is holding on to some resentment. And this is the type of the resentment that they weren't upfront with, they weren't direct with at the time. It's unfortunate because some of these is going to come in layers. So it's like you're peeling an onion and you're kind of discovering these new layers to this person because there's someone who's truly, truly great at impression management, making a great impression on you. But as time unfolds, you'll understand that underneath that great impression, there's a lot of resentment that they're harboring towards you. Remember, because they can't take rejection. Everything is personal to them. Has someone ever made you feel guilty for saying no? Drop a yes in the comments below if that's you. So the fifth sign is they are obsessed with how they appear to other people. Meaning not so much physically, obviously the physical aspect is important, but they really care about how other people see them. They want to be seen as successful, perfect, and charming. If you embarrass them, even by accident, even with a harmless joke among their friends, they will blame you or criticize you because you made them look bad. Let's say you're teasing them in front of their friends. They're not going to say anything to you when you're there, but once you leave, they're like, you really did put me down in front of my friend. That wasn't nice. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I didn't really put you down. It was just a joke. But they say this because they're super sensitive in terms of how they're being perceived by others. So if you say anything that may tarnish the image they've built, they're going to feel resentful. They're going to be hurt and they feel like they've been slighted. Let's say you make a mistake. You don't know the answer to a question. You ask a stranger and they say something like, you just asked a stupid question and this makes us look bad, or this embarrassed me. Because you're an extension of them, anything you do that doesn't match up with the impression that they want to leave for others, you are basically them. So they feel like, oh, here's some person who's an extension of me who's not behaving the way I usually behave, and they're going to be mad at you. They're going to be angry and frustrated. The sixth sign is hidden resentment. So most narcissists carry this hidden resentment towards people around them. This could be friends, certain family members, coworkers. So what you actually notice in their social life is that all people love them. Their friends probably love them. Their family loves them because they're always being attended to. Their coworkers feel like they're dealing with someone who's very kind, caring, because they can show up for people in times of needs. But as you'll start to get to know them and you have conversations with this person, you'll realize that they're doing all these nice things and nice gestures for others, but they're doing this with a lot of resentment, sometimes maybe even, I wouldn't say hate, but they don't do this out of their good heart. They're doing this because they feel like they should do, because they're putting on this facade and they need to act the part. You feel like they've done something so nice for their friend and you're talking about it and you realize, no, this person is feeling resentful that they actually had to do something nice for their friend. because their hypothesis is people treat you the way they see you, they always want to appear perfect. So it's not so much people treat you the way they feel towards you, it's people treat you the way they see you. So that's how they see relationships. If you see this pattern that on the front they're really good with people and behind closed doors they're resentful and angry, but they don't show it, and they still keep showing up and doing these nice things for these people, that's the kind of person who's not genuine, who's not transparent, and is just using their kind gestures to control relationships they care about. And eventually this is going to be you. They're going to hold a lot of resentment towards you because you're not going to meet their expectation. While it's important to recognize the signs of narcissism in a partner, sometimes we also need to hold up the mirror to ourselves and ask ourselves, am I doing something to sabotage my relationship right now? If you want to find out the things you might be doing to push your partner away without realizing, watch the video on your screen now.